Hello and welcome to King Arthur Knight's Tale. I'm Shadow Coast and welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to outline several tips to hopefully aid in your playthrough of this phenomenal game. I'm really enjoying it. This is a very difficult game. Tip number one, which is fairly self-explanatory, is make sure you read through your hero's unit card and understand several key items. The first being their loyalty. Are you gaining or losing their loyalty? If you're losing their loyalty, you most likely want to dismiss your hero here because you will have more than enough heroes to fill your bench. Now, I have a video on loyalty specifically, so I'll link that up top so you can refer to it. But to suffice to say, morality will have a big impact on your loyalty. So if they are misaligned or aligned in a different direction, odds are that you want to dismiss the hero. The other aspects to reviewing your hero cards are understanding their traits. Different traits will have different impacts. So, for example, Sir Kay has plus 50% loyalty from court titles. So, if we're looking to build or push Sir Kay into a different tier of loyalty, assigning him to a court title will provide an extra bonus or boost. Items in yellow are absolutely critical. Make sure you read these because this means that if you assign this hero to a position in one of the many spots that you'll build out in Camelot, you will gain added bonuses. So in this particular case, when we rest when we're actively in a mission, we will gain additional HP recovery if we select that option. And this increases per level. So this is very important and something that you want to understand. On the flip side, we have red traits. -1 loyalty when going on a mission without full vitality. That's really critical to understand because if you didn't read this and you keep deploying, you will quickly lose loyalty and then Sir Kay won't perform as well in combat. On top of that, make sure you're synergizing skills and all that fun stuff from that standpoint. But I really wanted to focus on the left because the stuff on the right, I think a lot of people will naturally focus on. So tip number one, ensure that you fully review your heroes, looking at their unit card. You can read their biography if you want, but make sure that you're building loyalty and assigning them as appropriate based off their traits, as well as properly equipping them and building out their skills. Tip number two, I strongly consider that you build out all of the main components of Camelot, at least early on, before you start upgrading. And that is because you are going to want to not only assign heroes to different positions here, but once you build these out, you will be able to start building different things. So for example, the merchant, you can sell items you don't need for gold, which will help you upgrade other things faster. The training ground will allow you to level up heroes, specifically those that you're not deploying with on missions. Enchanted tower will allow you to not only deconstruct certain items to gain dust, but also enhance those items accordingly. So make sure that you build out all of these is my first recommendation. Tip number three, make sure that you are managing injuries and vitality. As we saw with Sir Kay, stubborn makes him reduce loyalty if we deploy without full vitality, and injuries are going to make them perform less advantageous in battle. So I would be very aggressive in treating your heroes and ensuring that they have full vitality and are treating injuries. So this seems self-explanatory, but one of the aspects of this game is that it scales in difficulty very quickly. So the first, call it 3 or 4 missions, you might start building up those injuries. If you don't stay ahead of it, that can end your campaign very quickly or force you to reload an earlier save. The next tip really comes down to the round table. So at the round table here, I highly recommend that you leverage the different court titles as they come in. This could be easy to miss, but this is really important. So for Sir Kay, we realize that he will get plus 50% for a court title. So here, if we look at this court title, it will give plus 3. Well, for Sir Kay, As we move him out of Hospitalier, we get +5 because of that +50% bonus. And then when we click on him, you can now see he's going to do more damage. It is important to note that because I gave him a court title, he is no longer the Hospitalier, so I will no longer gain that bonus when I rest to HP. So make sure that you're assigning your heroes accordingly and leveraging court titles appropriately. The way I like to think about this, if they have a bonus that I really want, like the Hospitalier, I will probably keep them in the hospice. If they don't have a bonus that I want to use, so for example, Lady Dindrain is mission conscious, she gets no loyalty from court titles, but she is a potion brewer, so this increases the healing done by consuming healing potions. So for example, here it might be more advantageous to have her in the hospice versus Sir Kay sitting in the round table. So make sure that you leverage the round tables to the best effect possible. I also recommend that you use decrees selectively. I do have a video on morality, which talks a little bit about different decrees you can pick up, but there are also decrees you can use independent of that. And then make sure that you're also looking at laws and gaining those bonuses as appropriate. One of the first things, so my next tip is one of the first things I recommend is upgrading leadership. So once you've gotten all of these built out, the next one I highly recommend is leadership. Now, to understand how this works, aspirant heroes can join your main slots, but you can't move anyone into aspirant heroes. So effectively, you'll have to dismiss the heroes, and early game, even if you have a hero you know you're going to dismiss later on, I still recommend trying to keep your bench full because you will suffer injuries and vitality loss as you progress. The final tip that I have and that I recommend is make sure that you plan out how you want to build your morality. There are a lot of good attributes and heroes you can unlock, and having a plan early is going to make your play so much easier. So, for example, I didn't realize this early on, but if you decide to head to Rightful Christian 5 and 5, you unlock the Joust Decree, and this allows you to organize a joust which forwards the timer by 1 mission's time. This is a fantastic decree insofar that it allows you to advance time to heal your heroes without taking on an active mission or actively taking on a mission. So make sure you plan this out accordingly and you don't realize that you really want something and then have to redirect later on, because it'll be much harder and longer to get there. So hopefully you found these tips helpful. If you did, please consider dropping a thumbs up and please comment. There's so much to this game. I'll be posting lots of videos on it. I'm really enjoying it. So if they're really helpful tips that I missed, please comment and let me know. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in future videos. Shadow Coast out.